D-Day, June 6, 1944, the date that changed the course of history. It marked the largest amphibious invasion ever attempted, an operation so immense that it saw more than 156,000 Allied troops storm the beaches of Normandy. The sight that greeted them on those shores, however, was far from the peaceful, scenic landscape we might picture today. Normandy then was a fortress. Bunkers, minefields, and concrete walls stretched along the coastline, and German soldiers stood ready for battle in every hidden crevice. But now, nearly 80 years later, these once violent shores are tranquil and beautiful, leaving only hints of the brutal history that took place there. So let's take a journey through the events of D-Day and see just how Normandy has transformed from a battlefield into a place of remembrance. The plan was audacious. The Allies had to liberate Western Europe from Nazi control, and to do that, they needed a foothold. The beaches of Normandy were selected for the invasion after intense debate and planning. The goal? A beachhead so massive that it would overwhelm the German defenses. Operation Overlord, as it was codenamed, involved troops from the US, the United Kingdom, Canada, and numerous other Allied countries. Thousands of landing crafts, warships, and aircraft prepared for the attack, which was set to occur under the cover of early morning darkness. The morning of June 6th was chaotic. As the sun began to rise over the channel, an armada of Allied ships moved into position, carrying the brave souls who would step into the line of fire. The Germans, who had fortified the beaches, were in disbelief. Even with reconnaissance reports hinting at an invasion, the scale of the operation was incomprehensible. One by one, the landing crafts released their men onto the beaches, and what greeted them was a hailstorm of bullets, artillery fire, and chaos. Imagine, if you will, being a young soldier, barely 20, setting foot on a beach with no cover, enemy fire raining down, and comrades falling all around. Omaha Beach, in particular, became a killing ground. The American forces suffered massive casualties as German machine gun nests turned the shoreline into a death trap. British and Canadian forces, meanwhile, were storming beaches to the east, each with its own fierce resistance. By the end of the day, nearly 10,000 Allied soldiers lay dead, wounded, or missing. But Normandy today tells a different story. The beaches now are serene, marked by memorials, cemeteries, and museums that educate visitors about the scale and sacrifice of D-Day. Families picnic where bunkers once loomed, and children play on beaches once stained with blood. Yet for those who know its history, there's an invisible weight in the air, a sense that this is hallowed ground. The sand dunes and cliffs of Pointe du Hoc, once scarred by shell craters, have softened with time. Yet the site remains a powerful reminder of the courage of the Army Rangers who scaled it under enemy fire. The bunkers, now relics of another era, sit still, their thick concrete walls covered in graffiti, bearing witness to the resilience of those who survived. The Normandy American Cemetery in Colleville-sur-Mer is perhaps the most poignant sight. Over 9,000 white crosses and stars of David mark the graves of those who fell, row upon row stretching out over the green hills overlooking Omaha Beach. Visitors walk in reverence, their footsteps hushed as they take in the vast sea of headstones, each one a stark reminder of a life cut short in service of freedom. Standing there, it's almost unimaginable to think that these peaceful grounds were once a front line of terror. And how did this battle shape the world we know today? The success of D-Day set the stage for the liberation of Europe. Within days, the Allies had established a secure foothold, allowing reinforcements to flood into France. German forces found themselves on the defensive, fighting a two-front war as Soviet forces pushed from the east. D-Day's success wasn't just military. It also brought hope. It reminded the oppressed peoples of Europe that liberation was possible and that tyranny would not stand unchallenged. The site of the Normandy invasion has inspired countless films, books, and memorials, each a reflection of the bravery and sacrifice displayed there. Modern-day visitors can walk in the footsteps of heroes, seeing with their own eyes the cliffs and beaches that were once scenes of unspeakable violence. History has recorded these stories, but the soil of Normandy holds them close. For historians and enthusiasts alike, D-Day then and now shows us two faces of the same place, a past stained with tragedy and a present that honors that sacrifice. In remembering what happened, We understand why peace is precious and why the courage of those who fought should never be forgotten. So next time you see an old photo of D-Day or a quiet shot of Normandy today, remember the journey from chaos to calm. History may move on, but the sacrifices made will forever be etched in the sands of Normandy.